No, for sure, for sure. I want to ask you, obviously, getting off the field again. You studied experimental psychology. I'm always curious to hear what former Gamecocks are doing. So what after their career and stuff like that. So what was life like for you? What's life been like to this point? I mean, as far as obviously you're a proud alum, and I want to ask you in just a second about the state of the program because I'm sure you have some takes because obviously we're recording this the day after the Texas A&M game, so because everybody's got an opinion today. But no, I just want to ask you, like, what's life like been for you after your career at South Carolina? Have you been able to go back? Obviously, the facilities are crazy now compared to even when you were there with the indoor facility and the new, you guys are over there, the proving grounds. Now they got the new practice facility, the ops building, the enhancements to Willie B and all around it. But like, what's life been like for Joshua Blue after your playing days?
It's been good after I mean I'm doing good. I just started back getting into football by coaching. Started coaching small fry football last year.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen the new facilities. I
Mm-hmm.
hadn't been up a few years. Still keeping contact with a few of our guys, and they're all for the most part doing real well too. I would like to go back to see the new stuff that they have. Like I said, I haven't been up in a few years. But like I said, most of us still keep in contact with each other because they've had a really good experience together out there.
Right.
So yeah,
No, for sure. And dude, they're incredible. I can tell you that. I've got to tour the ops building, and it is wild how night and day. And I'm sure, like I said, the guys that were on those 11 and 12 and all those teams, they come back and they're like, "How did we not have this?" Like, I mean, because it's incredible. I mean, it's incredible
yeah,
what the guys have at their disposal now, and certainly nobody can say South Carolina does not have the facilities to compete with the big boys right now. So I'll ask you. Obviously, you're a proud Gamecock alum. You're watching everything going on. We're in year 5 of Will Muschamp. This is Sunday, the day after South Carolina loses 48-3 at home to Texas A&M. I mean, I'll let you take the floor, man. Just again, you're a football guy. You understand the game. I'm not sure how much of it you watch, but I'm sure you've been able to catch some. So you see it on the field. And again, you're a football guy, football mind. You know things that the average fan maybe doesn't see or know. But overall, just your overall take on the state of the South Carolina football program right now. What are you seeing? What do you like? What do you not like? I mean, again, the floor is yours, my friend. Go right ahead.
I mean it's kind of like a little reconstruction period right now. Just
Mm,
going through some things, and I mean every game is not going to be, I mean that's just how it happens. Especially like I said, just looking at just pure talent, every game is not gonna it's not gonna be a win.
mm,
Uh, but even if you lose, it's about how you do it. I didn't really get a chance to watch that game, that one in Texas A&M. I did get to see some of the highlights. I mean, I wish we were doing a little better than what we are right now. But, I mean, like I said, I'm pretty sure
mm,
everyone is wishing that same thing. But like I said, the main thing is learning from that,
mm.
right? So if we go out and we do lose, or they do lose 48-3 or whatnot, is what are you gonna learn from it? All right, we're gonna go watch film and study from it. So the next time we don't lose 48-3,
Mm.
and that's the difference. So for me, obviously, we don't want to see a team get blew out like that. So, but again, it's what do you learn from it?
Right.
So if they're not going back and watching the film, breaking it down to get better, then that's one thing. But if
Mm.
they are, that's another thing. So hopefully, they are getting better from it. And they will use this as a learning curve.
I
So,
tell you, man, it almost feels weird to be talking about it this way. We were literally just talking about 11 and 12 and the successes you got. It's just a complete 180. I mean, I know you. I mean, can you? I just can't fathom one of those teams you were on losing a game 48. There's just no way. That would just
yeah,
never. That would just never happen. I mean,
yeah, and that's like I said, that's why it's kind of hard to.
it's hard to grasp, right? It has to be. I just
It's hard to imagine being in that situation. So I'm not even. Yeah,
kicking a
it's really hard.
field goal down 41 nothing. Like, can you even fathom that?
No,
I mean, you know.
can't.
I mean, it's just crazy. No, yeah,
E- Even though you can't imagine that, right?
right, right.
Um, do get. Like I said, I've been hearing a lot of rumbles. I mean, in the past few
Mm-hmm.
years, I'm
Yeah, yeah.
to be quite frank. Then we're not winning. We're not winning.
Ton of rumbles today, by the way. I don't know if you've been on social media, but it has been nuts.
But again, you got to look at you have to look at everything in a totality, right?
Mm,
again, if you're not good enough to win a game, then you're just not good enough to win a game, right? If you do everything it takes and you're just not, then you're not. But if you go back and you get better from it, then that's the difference. So, I mean, we can look at a team losing 48-3. I mean, that's a bad thing or whatnot. But at the same time, you might have a team in the top 10, you know, they may barely win a game or they might barely lose a game. You know, that's just as big as a disappointment, you know, in my eyes, you know. That's just
I want to ask you a question. I'm very curious to get your response on this because it's sort of, I don't know if it's a weird question or if it's the question that not many people ask, but I'm sure that you've been around a lot of coaches. Like you said, you've coached the game of football, and I you know, I want you to be honest with me because I feel like the people that I know that have coaching is a fraternity. You know what I mean? And coaches are very, very hesitant to, not even talking about like South Carolina specifically, but just overall. Like, I've never heard a coach that a friend of mine that was a coach, anybody, I've almost never heard a coach badmouth another coach. It's like every coach is a good coach. Like in the sense of like, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like, the coaching community looks out for each other. And listen, you have to know the game of football so absurdly well to be a coach at a school like South Carolina. Like, there's nobody at that level that does not know the game of football. Everybody that gets to that level knows the X's and O's and stuff like that. But like, is there any merit to do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I would love to hear, I'm not specifically speaking on you. This is just something I've been thinking about for a while. It's like, I would love to hear someone with knowledge of coaching, like, because every coach can't be a great coach. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody's Steve Spurrier. That's just not how it works. Like, some people are really, really great at it, and some people, they know the game of football, but maybe they're just not. You know, I tell people this way: not everybody's a number one. Not everybody's a CEO. Not everybody's a doctor. Like, not everybody's cut out for every walk of life, every role. That, like, again, is there any merit to what I'm saying? I feel like this is something like. The coaching fraternity looks out for one another. You're never going to hear, you know, obviously, like, again, like Muschamp's not going to go on his Tuesday presser and say, well, yeah, we're taking on Lane Kiffin. He's an average coach at best. Like, you're not going to hear him say that. I mean, number one, you're playing him, but it's just like the coaching fraternity is tight knit. Like, you're never going to hear, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems crazy to me. I don't know. It just seems crazy.
I mean, yeah, it does. Well, this is, again, it's not even like a South Carolina. This is just all of coaching. You know,
yeah, just like a generic thing. Yeah.
It does seem a little tight-knit because, like I said, you do have some coaches who are going to take a shot at somebody. I think Spurrier actually took shots, you know, like little jabs at a few coaches in this time. But it does seem like a real tight-knit community. But it's a lot that separates, you know, good coaches and great coaches. And sometimes, just to be honest, coaches got good players every now and then.
Yeah.
That's honestly, they just have a few good guys, and they're still in that position.
Jimmy's and Joe's. I mean, there's no question that great players make a coach look great. No doubt.
Yeah. And they stay in that position for a while, you know, and then just get a few more good guys or whatnot. There might be people around them, but I mean, again, that's neither here nor there. But I mean, what makes a good coach is, you know, somebody that can explain it. I mean, like you said, you have to know the game to be a coach. But just because you know it and you can play it doesn't mean you can explain it.
Right.
And you somebody else at that level. That's why, you know, a lot of the times some of the best coaches were people who were never that good. People who knew how to play,
and that goes for every sport, by the way. Because I mean, I played college baseball. It's the same thing. Heck, golf is the best example. Some of the worst players are the best teachers, because like a lot of the best players, their feel, they can't explain how they do what they do.
Yeah. So. Yeah, you're right. Because a lot of caddies aren't. They're the ones that, you know, tell the golfers. So yeah, you're exactly right. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine. Again, this is kind of getting down the rabbit hole, but I had a buddy of mine that met Derek Jeter. So I mean, again, I'm a baseball guy, whatever. Yeah. He said he met Derek Jeter. He said, I would never let Derek Jeter teach my kid how to hit, though, because Derek Jeter literally looked at him and said, like, I can't really explain to you what I do. I just see ball, hit ball, feel. So, like, he wouldn't be a great hitting coach, right? Like, you know, but a guy who wasn't Derek Jeter, who maybe hardly played, like, again, could be a fantastic teacher. So, it goes across all sports. It's really interesting, actually, to be honest. It's wild.
Yeah, I just got into golf last week, and I started when I was a kid, like a little kid. play forever, and it just came natural, just swing,
Yeah.
just swing. And after not playing for 8 years, I played last week, and I'm like, okay, how do I do this? And everything, like, I going to the left, I'm hitting under. Then I had to really break it down. Okay, well, this is what you do when you do a backswing, and you do it. I had to do it that way. So, I mean, you're right. So, if somebody's really natural at something, sometimes it's hard for them to know the mechanics of it because they can just do it. You know, that's about it. Sometimes, you know, just being able to operate at that atomic, automatic level. You know, or to play at an automatic level.
Right.